But let me just show you close up what we're going to be making. So this is, I'm going to close it first of all. Like, are you kidding me? This looks like one of those fancy sunglasses boxes you get at like Gucci or something, like with your custom monogram put on it. And this is made with the reflective HTV. This is the HTV we used on here. And it looks embossed, like incredible. It looks so good. And then when you open it up, we did a print and then cut right here, mainly because I want you to be able to use this box afterwards if you are using it for a bridesmaid box. So they can just pop that off and use this as a jewelry box or whatever. And then we also created a little luggage tag with the same vinyl, except we're applying it to leather. So we're gonna get to see how to apply it to linen and then how to apply it to leather. And then we also did this super cute little print and then cut tag that says I couldn't tie the knot without you. And y'all, you can get these earrings in bulk on Amazon. These are actually from my house because I got some earrings and I was like, I'm never gonna wear those even though they're so cute. So I put them in there. I just thought they were adorable.
So fun.
So we're gonna be putting this together today, okay? So you're not gonna need a whole lot of crazy supplies. You're just gonna need some type of box. Now this box, I wanna measure it for you guys because I don't know the exact parameters, but just so you have a better idea, this is 6 3/4 by 4 1/2-ish. So not super huge. The depth on it is not crazy either. Like, I don't know, 1.5 inches. So pretty decently small box, but you can fit so much stuff in it. And this is what it looks like when you just open it. So there's even this little tag here. Look how cute. You can put it out here and then they can open it by pulling that. So cute little box. These luggage tags, these are both off of Amazon. This is genuine leather, I want to say. These are nice. Like, it looks like, I'm smelling it. Because you know leather smells like leather. It doesn't smell like leather, but it looks like leather because it's got this like rough edge. But these are super cute. It's giving me Anthropologie vibes. Listen, if you guys have ever shopped there. Anyway, so you're gonna need those. You are going to need this vinyl right here. Now this vinyl, I have talked about this before on the channel, and I use this any opportunity I can get because this vinyl is such a random brand on Amazon, but it cuts and weeds like butter, y'all. Like, I don't even know if you know, the quality when it transfers is so good. It's just beautiful. So we linked all of this below for you guys. You're gonna need some vinyl. Now, if you don't have this reflective metallic vinyl, you can totally do this with any regular HTV, okay? So if you wanna do it to match a color scheme, like black or navy or red or whatever, you can use whatever HTV you want. It applies exactly the same and it cuts exactly the same, okay? So you're gonna need some HTV. You're gonna need a double-sided tape runner to attach our little tag to the inside of our box. You're gonna need some cardstock for our print and cut. So we're gonna make the earring holder as a print and cut as well as the label on the inside of the box. And then you're gonna need some basic crafting tools like a burnishing tool and a weeder. And then I've got the Cricut Mini Easy Press here. I would recommend just using like a small press for this. It's a very precise project. Y'all know this is my favorite tool to use in the craft room. You're gonna need a standard grit mat to cut your vinyl with, and then I've got some of this little stuffing. You can get this at the Dollar Tree for $1.50. If you guys didn't see the video, see the news. Dollar Tree is going up to $1.50.
Crazy.
And their highest item is going to be $7. Is that what you said?
$7.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. You can't just go leisurely shop through the Dollar Tree anymore unless you got a checkbook.
That's literally the thesis of my video, yeah.
So,
Crazy.
okay, let's go ahead. We're going to jump into Cricut. Let me get logged in here. We'll do that later. Okay. So you're gonna need a couple fonts and only one file for this project, which is really nice. So the first file that you're gonna need, we're gonna go ahead and download everything from the website, which is makersgonnalearn.com if you are new here. And we're going to download everything we need. I like to do this when I'm starting a project, kind of look through my files, look through my fonts to see if I can get some inspiration. And all of these little bow frames, I am just obsessed with. This is, if you've heard the term coquette, this is kind of the coquette vibe, like the bows, the wavy borders. This is super trendy right now, and that's why we love it so much. And I'm just gonna click that little download icon, and it's gonna pop into a zip folder. So if you are on a Mac, typically it'll pop up here into this little like down arrow situation, and we're going to double click on that. If you can't find it for some reason, go to your Finder and go to your downloads, or go to your File Explorer if you were on a PC, and it's going to be either be in your recents or your downloads. You will need to extract, unzip your folder. So this one right here, this is how it would typically come in. If you're on a PC, you may need to right click and extract. Otherwise, you can just double click on it. So I'm going to open this up, and you can see our SVG is here. So typically our files will come with a PNG and an SVG, which is really nice if you do more print and cut than cutting. The PNGs are our printable images. Our SVGs are our cutting, or S for scissors. That's how I remember it. So we're going to just leave that there. Okay. Just leave that box there. I'm going to go back to our website, and we are going to go to our fonts. Now we're using 2 newer fonts today that are so gorgeous. This font pairing, write it down. I don't know if this one is in our font pairing book, you need to write this one down. It's Sweetgrass and Zephyr. Sweetgrass. I like that name. And this font is so pretty and bougie looking. It's like as if you signed it. I love it. Okay, gonna go ahead and download that. Now we don't want to click on it yet because we're gonna go get our other font. I'm just gonna type in Zephyr. It's Zephyr. And Daisy's saying the gold foil HTV link isn't working. Okay, I'm gonna double check those links for you guys after the live stream. Yay. And we are going to download this font. Okay, now we can click on these and open them in our Finder. And then to download a font, it's pretty similar as far as double clicking the file folder to unzip it, or right clicking it to unzip it. But then once you get it unzipped, you're gonna need to double click on the font, and then we're going to hit install font. That's gonna put it on our computer. And let's go back to Finder. And I'm gonna double click on the Zephyr font, hit install font. Okay, now they're both on our computer, right? So let's go over to Cricut. And we need to make sure that these are installed on Cricut Design Space. So make sure if you're in the middle of working on something, you save your project up here. So you would save and then click save. And then we are going to go view and reload. That's going to ensure that our fonts go from being just sitting in our computer to now they're in Cricut Design Space. So it's as easy as that, you guys. Super easy. Okay. Now that's going to get our fonts on there, but we need to go get our little bow frame, right? So if you want to upload an image such as a PNG or an SVG, you're going to need to go to upload, which is on the bottom left of your screen. And then we're going to hit upload image. From there, you can either hit browse, or you can open up your Finder and drag and drop the image, which is my preference. I just feel like it's easier to drag and drop. I'm just going to click, drag, and then you'll hit continue. Okay. And then upload. Beautiful. All right. So we have our fonts. Let's make sure. I'm going to open up a text box. We're going to go up here to the top left, which is where our font menu is. And then you can see right here, we have our Cricut fonts, which is not where we want to live. We want to live over here in our system fonts. And you can type in Zephyr. And there it is. What's really nice, and Courtney really pioneered this project, we have made all of our fonts have MGL at the front of them. So if you all are looking for MGL fonts if you've started downloading them last month until now, if you type in MGL, it's going to pull up all of our MGL fonts. So you don't have to go looking. Isn't that so nice? But we want to make sure Zephyr's there, and then we want to make sure that Sweetgrass is there. There it is. It's gigantic, but it's there. Okay, cool. Now, with that being said, we're going to take this one project at a time because we kind of have like 4 mini projects. So we're going to work on our HTV stuff first, which means we need to do the top of our box. Okay. Need to do the top of our box, and then we will work on our tag. So the first thing I want you all to do, get your box, make sure you got it in the right direction. So you want to open it, make sure that you are going to be putting it right where it's supposed to go. And then I'm going to measure this one we did before because I really love the size of this. It makes it look high end, you know? So this is going to end up being like 1.5 by 2. Now, if you wanted that exact size, what you can do is come in here and open up a little square, okay, from your basic shapes. We're gonna unlock this. We're gonna make it 1.5 by 2. And then what we'll do is select that box. I'm gonna change it to a guide up here at the operations menu on the top left of the screen.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna give us a little square.
So fun.
And then I'm gonna go get a text box. So click the T and we're gonna type in L by itself. And this is gonna be that Zephyr font. So you're gonna go to your fonts, type in Zephyr and click it, and it's gonna change your font. And then what I'll do is hit Command D, and it's gonna duplicate my letter, same exact size, same font, everything, and I'm gonna change that to an M. And then I'm going to kind of overlap them just a little bit like that. Classy, so classy. Now, you can attach these, but I personally like to unite them so they cut out as a unit. If we attach it, the cut lines are gonna go through the other letter, and I don't want that to happen. So when you get them laid out how you want, we're gonna select both of them. So you're gonna click, drag to select both, and we're gonna come over here to our combine menu, which is at the bottom of the layers panel. I'm gonna click that. Now, weld is what we used to do. Historically, weld was like the way. If you guys haven't been around a while, or if you haven't used these combine menu options before, unite is the same as weld, but it's reversible, and you can kind of manipulate the layers after it's united. So I'm gonna click unite, and you can see now it's all one piece, okay? And then I'm just gonna bring this in, and we're gonna size it up to fill up our little box, because this is what we measured. Cute, cute, cute. Perfect.
Ooh.
I love it. And then you can delete your little box. So now we know. All right. From there, we need to create our little bow situation. So I'm going to go back to my uploads and click on the image that I want and add it to the canvas. Now, let's measure our little tag and make sure we get the sizing right on this. This is something you definitely want to have a guide on. So we're going to create a little guide for us to make sure it fits. Now, I'm going to measure the width this way, which is like 2 3/4. And then I'm not measuring this arch up here. I'm going to measure from beneath this tag hole to the bottom, because we're not actually putting vinyl up there at the top. So 2 3/4 by, let's say 3.5, okay? So I'm not gonna make my shape that size. I need my guideline to be that size. So I'm gonna go to my basic shapes, and I'm just gonna grab a square. A square is my go-to. Oops.
Y'all, I just realized Sadie's getting married. Sadie, how have you decided to ask your bridesmaids? Have you asked them yet?
I made little boxes.
She made boxes.
Oh, I wanna see your
Okay.
little boxes.
Love it.
Just came out.
So cute. So cute. We're behind for Sadie.
We should have been making a bunch of Sadie made her wedding invitations that are
Ooh,
literally
the wedding
gorgeous.
invitations are like Maker University level.
They really are. They're like a little set with an RSVP card. It's print and cut on
Iconic.
X Games mode. Okay, so this is our little tag. I'm gonna make it green for funsies. Okay, now we've got our template. This is the area we can work with, and this is how big our image comes in. We don't want it to be that big, okay? So we're gonna shrink her down. I'm gonna actually change this color to this gold, and it's behind our image now, so you can hit arrange and bring to front, or you can hit command right bracket. Okay, and then I'm just going to size this up to fill it in pretty good. I don't want to bring this, like, you all should not be bringing your images all the way to the end there. Let your image breathe. I think sometimes we think, oh, we need to fill all the space up, but you really don't. Sometimes negative space can really be pleasing to the eye, and I think a lot of people overlook that. So we're just going to kind of bring it in here. I'm giving it a little bit of space all the way around, okay? Don't worry too much about placement, because we're going to actually go in and place all this here in just a minute. And then what's really nice, since we're putting the same initials on the tag as we are in the front, I can go ahead and select this LM, and I'm going to hit Command D And this can actually fit inside of here. Now let me change it to yellow so you all can see it better. I'm gonna zoom in. Now it's a little bit big. Now let me look at the original and see. Yeah, we've shrunk it down a little bit more on the original. So I'm just going to click this and make it just a little bit smaller so it looks nice and it fits nice in here. Beautiful. That's super cute. Okay, now we can get rid of our square. You can hide it. If you plan on making a bunch of these, don't delete it because you already went through all that work. Just hide it. One thing I do want to do is make sure that this L and M is attached to this bow frame. That way I don't have to go in and place it myself. It's just going to cut out in the same section and I can apply it to our tag easier. So I'm going to select both the letters as well as the bow frame, and we are going to go to combine and unite. And now it's one little guy all by itself. I am going to change the color of this to gold because we're also cutting these out of the same color. So now we have our tag and we've got our little box cover, and that's good. We've done 2 out of 4.
Boom.
Boom. Okay, we're gonna keep working. Now, the next thing that we need to do is work on our print and cut question for the inside. If you guys didn't know, if you're working with print and cut, or if you're working with a lot of white and you want to be able to see the edges of your design, go to this bottom right where it says blank canvas. Click on that white square, and then up here, click color, and we're going to change this to a light gray. And now you can actually see what you're working on.
Such a good hack.
Yeah.
Such a good hack.
Because I feel like you can't see it, you know, and you want to be able to see the perimeter.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do next is we need to create a 4 by 2.5 inch square. This will vary if you're not using the same box, but kind of measure. Let me show you guys the proportions of this one. So we left a few inches all the way around, but it's really just going to depend on the size of your box, okay? You could make it bigger if you do a bigger box. I would. Okay, so we are going to make 4 by 2.5 inch rectangle. So just pull in a square, make sure your shape is unlocked, and we're going to type in 4 by 2.5. Beautiful. And then we're going to change it to white. We're keeping it classy, white on black. Classy with gold. I mean, you can't, there's nothing more timeless than black, white, and gold. And then we are going to add a text box. So, Lauren, question mark. And I'm going to hit Command A, and that's going to select all the text inside of our box. And we're going to change this to our sweet grass font. Beautiful. We're going to pull that up here. Now I want to show you all a cool trick. If you're working with multiple lines of text, we are just going to double click on that text box, hit enter, whoops. And then we are going to type in bridesmaid, okay, because that's the other word that's in the same script. And what you can do is select that text box and go to advanced and ungroup to lines. So advanced, ungroup to lines with the text box selected, and it's going to separate those lines of text. So you can kind of pull bridesmaid down here. And honestly, I want to make this like as big as possible. I need them to know like, I'm asking you to be my bridesmaid. You know what I mean? So we are going to do that there. And then I'm going to hit Command D, and that's going to duplicate our text box again. This time I'm going to type in, will you be my? And this one is going to be in our Zephyr font. So hit Command A to select all of your text. And we are going to type in Zephyr. Beautiful. I know there's a lot of like little nitpicky things that you can do here. So if you guys need to rewatch this, it will be available for replay.
Yes.
Never stress if you're watching live and you're like, slow down. Just because there's a lot of training and I want to make sure you guys can get it all in an hour. Okay, one thing I'm going to do, this text is so beautiful, but I want to space my letters out a little bit more. This is something I do often because I think that it elevates my design.
Makes it a little bit more readable.
Yeah, it lets you breathe.
Yeah,
right? We want to breathe when we see our designs. We want it to be a breath of fresh air. Yeah. So I'm going to select that text box, and then up here under letter space, we're going to increase, just bump that arrow up a little bit. Do you see how it's adding space in between my letters? Nothing crazy, but I do like how it looks personally. Okay, I think that might be a little too much. You can kind of play around with it. Okay, I think that's Gorgina. That looks so cute. Now, it may look like it's black, but the text that comes in with Cricut is a dark charcoal gray. I'm just letting you know now, because if I go to flatten this, I'm going to actually duplicate this and show you. If I flatten this how it is right now, it looks like it's black, right? It's not. So I'm going to select all of my text and change it to solid black, and then flatten it, and look, you can see the difference. Do you see how much darker this is? So make sure you change your font color to actual black if that's what you're wanting to do, okay? So I'll just delete this one. This is the one that we want, and then that's it for us. Now, if you missed it, after you get your text on there, after you've got all of your things on here exactly where you want them, make sure you get it all lined up, and you can kind of put it wherever you want. You select everything. So select all 3 text boxes. And now, since we're working with a PNG, you're not going to unite. That is not what you need to do for a printable image. What you need to do is flatten it. So if you're wanting to combine images and you're wanting to cut them at the same time, you would go to Combine Unite. If you're wanting to print and cut an image all together on one piece, you need to flatten it. So we're going to select everything and we're going to hit flatten. And now it's on one little layer. Cricut now knows I only need to cut around that border. It's not going to individually cut out all the letters. It's just going to print it out and then cut the border. Okay, does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Perfect.
Woo-hoo.
Now, third one is done. Beautiful. We're just trucking along. Okay, for this one is probably the most difficult one, but y'all, it's nothing to stress about. What we're gonna do here is we are gonna come over to our basic shapes. So are you guys like getting the vibe? You're coming back to your basic shapes every time. And whenever I work on projects, that's how I function. I go and get my shape, I go and get my guideline, just to have that foundation. So we are gonna actually be using this pennant, also known as a gravestone. Everyone's like, you guys use those gravestones all the time. I just think they're cute. I think they're cute. I am going to flip this vertical, so the arch is up, and then I'm going to unlock it, and we're going to make it a little bit wider. Okay, this one is 2.5 wide. Oh, I made it 2.5 wide on the money. And then we're going to change it to white. And remember, you can customize these to fit whatever colors you're doing. If you're wanting to do more of a different color scheme, you can totally customize it to your own. Okay. And then from here, we are just going to add our text. So I'm going to write, I couldn't tie. I'm going to select it all and change it to black. And then we're going to, if you accidentally do something and you're like, oh no, hit Command Z. We'll undo. Or you can come up here to this little arrow. Okay, we're going to shrink this down. And we just want it to fit right above the earrings. And then I'm going to hit Command D to duplicate my text box. Are y'all using your shortcut keys? If you're not, you need to get used to it. It's so much easier. I
have very few. I love the undo shortcut key.
Yes.
I'm just not a huge, I'm not at Lauren's level.
Yeah. I'm a shortcut key girl too.
Are you?
Oh, that's all I do.
It's crazy.
That's all I do.
You're crazy.
And then the knot, we're going to change that to Sweetgrass. My favorite shortcut key while we're talking about it is the Command Tab, where you can tab in between your opened boxes. That's my favorite one. Okay. And we're going to size this up to a little bit bigger. Okay. Now we don't want to flatten it yet, because if I zoom in, I want to show you all. If I zoom in, see these little holes right here? We need to make sure, listen, we don't want to be poking holes ourselves. No. We need to put the holes in ourselves. Now these are teeny weeny tiny. So I'm going to zoom in as much as I can because I want to be able to place them where I want. So what you're going to do is come over here to your shapes. We are going to add a circle. It's going to come in gigantic, and we're going to shrink it down. Now this time we are not going to unlock our shape because I want it to be proportional all the way around. So if I change the width on this with that lock being closed, it's going to proportionally size everything down. So let's do a 0.25 and see. I think that's going to be too big still. We're just going to shrink it down ourselves. Okay. So this little guy is going to go here. And then I'm going to hit Command D. And I'm going to drag it right here. Now I'm going to put enough space in between these. And I'm going to actually click that one, hold my Shift key down to click the other one. You can see they're a little bit crooked. So if you want, come up here to align and center vertically. And that's going to put them right in line. And another thing you could do is group them and then, oh, I guess they are already, and then we're going to hit Shift and click that arch, and we're going to go to align and center horizontally. So now they're like perfectly in the middle and they're perfectly in line with each other, okay? Now, there's a couple different ways. You can either just attach these to the arch shape. So I could just hit attach and it's going to cut those circles out. Or you can click and drag to select the circles as well as the arch shape and go to combine, exclude. And then let me zoom out so you can see what's going on. It looks like the words disappeared, but they're really just behind everything. So I'm going to send this to the back. Looky there. Beautiful. Okay, we're just going to keep it at that. All right. Now let's select everything here and we are going to flatten. Our Cricut knows now I am not going to cut out those letters. I'm only going to cut out the arch and I'm only going to cut out these little earring holes. Okay. So really technically you should do it the exclude way, because if I attach those and I flattened them, it would mess up your cut. So you need to make sure to do the exclude steps. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
Love the align functions.
Yes.
Jenna says that. Yeah, we love it, love it, love it, love it.
Everything's got to be aligned, y'all. Okay, I'm going to group. I want to show you guys. This is one of my favorite hacks. I don't know if you call it a hack.
Before we move forward, do we have a printable resource on shortcut keys?
Yes.
Yeah, check your library. So under the dashboard, if you want to do that real fast before we move on. I'm pretty sure. Let's see if it's in there. I'm not sure. I feel like we've
done it for something.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We're gonna go to the dashboard.
Okay, here's our Maker's Gonna Learn dashboard. It's cute and gorgeous. And under here, a lot of you guys may be members and don't even know that you have access to these resources.
Yeah,
so
go to resources. This is your little printable resource library, only for members. We don't give these away. These are all for you. I want to see if we have one. If not, we'll have to work on one. Font pairing.
We have one created somewhere. Is it in Master Your Cricut? I'm pretty sure I made one for Master Your Cricut.
Yeah, let's find it. I think if you go to the table of continents, like it's clickable. So we'll load the book.
Okay.
And this is again available to all of you that are members. So I wonder where it would be.
I have made it. Oh, here, using shortcut commands and design space. Okay, page 24.
Go to day 7 of the 30-day challenge.
Wait, page 24.
Page 24.
Yeah.
Or day 7.
Oh, yeah, day 7.
So good.
And then, so all of these, and we even have it for Mac and Windows.
Yes.
Isn't that so nice?
Windows
Look.
People.
You guys can print these out and like laminate them.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have not done the 30 days to master your Cricut and you are a member, please go do that first and foremost. Okay. Do you guys love that? I think that was fun. We never get into our resources like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. This is what I like to do. If I'm working on a bunch of stuff on one canvas and I want to hide stuff quickly, rather than coming over here and being like, which one do I want to hide? I'll select everything I want to hide, select it all at the same time, group it, and hide it. Magic. And then so all that stuff that was there before is hidden, and only the stuff that we just made right now is available to cut. All right, are you guys ready? We're gonna start making it. Okay, we're gonna go. We are using the Maker 4 today.
Ooh, and
have you seen it? It's so fast.
The colors are phenomenal.
It's beautiful.
I haven't got to see it cut yet.
Yeah, I was thinking you hadn't seen it cut yet. The Explorer is sitting over there too.
Yeah, the Explorer is beautiful too. We are loving it.
Okay, so we've got both of these here, and then, oh, I must have not hid one of these. We're gonna just hide that. We don't need that. Okay, we'll start with our print and then cut. So this is gonna print out on our printer. We use a Canon TS 9500 series. If you're in the market for a new printer, this is the good one.
And the prices have really came down since COVID. Yeah,
they really have. It's very inexpensive and amazing.
Yep.
So we're gonna select continue. and I'm going to send this to printer. Now, whenever this dialog box pops up, I want to talk about a couple things. So if you're doing a print and cut, I want to go ahead and tell you to stop printing from here, okay? Stop printing from here. This is not the way to do it. What you need to do is select your printer. For this instance, we don't need a bleed. If we were using a full color image, we would use the bleed here. The bleed prevents us from having white edges if the cutting is off a little bit, but we're cutting white, so it's not gonna matter. I'm gonna turn off the bleed. I'm gonna turn on the system dialog. Turn it on. Every single time you go to print, turn on your system dialog and hit print. From there, it's gonna pop up another dialog box. If you're using a Mac, it may pop up behind Cricut. So we're just gonna pull our screen down and look, it's right here. Are you with me? We're using the dialog box. We are not printing from Cricut. We're printing from the dialog box. We're gonna feed this from the rear tray because we are using a thicker cardstock. So you're gonna wanna use like a 60 to 80 pound cardstock for this. You don't wanna use just copy paper. It won't be as nice.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah. And then our media type, I'm just gonna keep it on auto, but I am gonna change the quality to best. So this is gonna get you your best print every single time. And then I'm going to send that to our printer. You can go ahead and hit done, and I'm gonna grab that really fast for you guys. All right, so we've got our printout. Now, if you haven't done print and cut before, you're gonna notice that there are these registration boxes around the edges of your design. And that is so that the Cricut can read the print and then know exactly where to cut. You also wanna pay attention to this little arrow on the top left corner. It needs to always be pointing up towards this top left corner, which makes sense because that's how everything is placed on here, that we can read the words, yada, yada. Okay, now let's go back into share screen. And we are gonna cut this on a medium cardstock. If you have anything over 80 pounds, I would definitely do heavy cardstock, but medium's gonna be perfect for us. And then I am going to insert this. And I don't know if this is a new feature of the Cricut, but I have to push this twice. Actually, that time I pushed it 3 times.
No way, really?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's just like it's not clicking good and it's just our machine, but.
Listen.
Do better. Okay, and then hit this little go button, right? Now, this is gonna cut, but before we pull this out of the machine, we need to make sure that it cuts, because if you pull this out and try to recut it, it'll not cut right. And I'll show you guys what I mean here in like 2 seconds. But right now it's reading. It's reading and it has a little light. If for some reason you're working with print and cut and it does not cut all the way through, turn your lights off. Sometimes it really mainly does it with glossy paper, like sticker paper will do it a lot because it reflects the light and then it confuses the Cricut. So I peeled off my excess, right? And I checked it before I pulled it off because I wanted to make sure it cut. It did cut. I peeled off the excess. Now we're gonna flip this over. We do not want to bend our paper. So I'm going to do what we like to call going with gravity. I'm just taking my finger and kind of plucking this off of here without pulling it off. If you pull it off, it's gonna be curved and ugly, okay? And I'm just going to sit these right here. Look how cute. They look so cute.
And flawless and easy and fun.
I love
it.
Let's go. Okay, now we need to do our HTV. So we are just gonna take our little HTV piece and we're gonna put it carrier sheet side down. A lot of times that means shiny side down. With these specialty vinyls, sometimes they have a matte carrier sheet, so we've been saying carrier sheet side down. And I'm going to burnish it down to make sure it's really stuck onto the mat. But with HTV, you always want to be cutting from the back side because it has a built-in carrier sheet. With adhesive vinyl or just the sticky vinyl that doesn't need heat, you can cut it the other way because it doesn't have that built-in carrier sheet and you have to add it yourself. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here. Now, I did not mirror my project yet, which is something, if you're working with HTV, you need to mirror your project, and let me show you. So right here, you can see it's not mirrored. If I select everyday iron on, and Cricut was not like this before, used to you had to manually do it every time. Now, if you select everyday iron on, it will mirror your design for you. Isn't that cool?
Are the 2 little holes still on the mat, Lorraine asked?
The what?
The little holes still on the mat.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
It's fine, it'll cut. Sometimes I'll leave like little pieces on accident.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're going to hit go and it's gonna cut. And y'all, this thing cuts so dang fast.
Aw.
It cuts so fast.
So exciting.
Okay. Okay, I'm weeding out everything that I don't want. So this is a pin tool, and it's like a little teeny weeny tiny needle at the tip, and it's like shaped like a pin, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So you just come in here at like a 45-degree angle, and I am pulling up all these little pieces. This one isn't too bad to weed, but as you can see, this cut, amazing. This vinyl is honestly just unreal. And then there's like a weird in between line on this image, so you have to weed out the right line. It's just very dainty. Okay, so I have set my mini easy press to the second heat setting. When you are ironing onto leather, and this also goes for wood, you do not need a lot of heat. The HTV will actually slide around and you'll be able to see the adhesive a little bit. So I try to just put it on that medium heat setting. You're gonna see this comes off really easily, but you're gonna wanna place it exactly where you want. And then we are gonna, as soon as that turns green, we're gonna iron it on. I'm just gonna sit that there. The transfer tape is sticky, so it allows you to kind of place it where you want it. Excuse me. And then if you need to, you can pull it up and move it. I honestly kind of want to do one down here in the corner. Do you guys like that? I don't know. I think I like it up here better. I'm just lining it up. If you want to, you can get specific. Y'all know me. I'm not a measurer. I'm not a precision person. Like, who's going to sit here and tell me what half of 6 3/4 is? 3 and a 3.25 or something? I don't know. Like, no, I'm not doing it. If it looks good right here, that's where it looks good. I mean, period, you know?
Yeah. We love that.
Okay, so let's start with this one. I've got my little thing. It's ready to go. It's green. Now, if you're using a material that you've never used before and you're like, oh, I'm stressed, try it on the bottom. Test it on the bottom. Okay, we're just going to apply a little bit of heat here. This vinyl looks so good, y'all. You just can't beat it. Okay, just applying a little bit of heat. What you can do next is come over here to the corner. I can see it's lifting just a little bit. So we're gonna iron this down a little bit more. And you all cannot see this through the screen, but I can see that there are little tiny bubbles underneath the transfer tape, like indicating that it's heated up and it's actually adhering to the base. For some reason, this corner doesn't want to stick. I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit. So sometimes, especially with metallic vinyls, you have to let it cool down just a little bit. And often they'll say it's a cool peel, like with glitter, a lot is a cool peel, or you'll have like a medium peel or a hot peel. This is more of a medium. And I can tell that because it keeps trying to lift when I'm trying to take this transfer tape off. It's still kind of hot. We're gonna let him sit for a second. And then we're gonna come over here to this one. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. And a lot of people will ask, oh, don't you need like a Teflon sheet or something? No, because this carrier sheet is the protective sheet.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna iron this on. Beautiful. Look how pretty. Okay, and then we are going to open this up and put in our stuffing. Just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm gonna put, well, I'll leave that out. Makes it look cutesy. Put in your tag. I'm gonna take this little guy, flip him over, and I've got a double-sided adhesive gun. You could also, I wouldn't do hot glue. I would just use some type of double-sided tape. Oh, lovely. Okay, and then we're going to attach it to this right here.
Boom.
And then you're gonna put your little earrings in here, pop it in, and honey, you are ready to go. And you look professional. You just did
like 3 different projects. What?
Etsy who? Etsy who?
Yes.
I love it. That's it, you guys.
I love it.